わらわが仕立てた至高の衣、まとえただけでも感謝せよ。そして死ぬまで逃げると思うなよ。わらわは仕事が早いのが売りでな。千住丸の名は伊達ではないぞ。
俺はお前を殺しに来たんじゃねえ。止めに来たんだ。挽回、不死の向上、捧げるぞ俺の血と命をな。トルメンタで
メンテスで
召し上が
Alright, what is going on, guys? This is your boy the Death Smasher, and welcome back to another Bleach Brave Souls video. And today I am back again with another Who Is Better video. And today we are going to be doing a character comparison of the newly released Can't Fare Your Own World Shuhei, aka Bankai Shuhei, who is right now currently the best Arrancar Killer for heart in the game. He's classified on Reddit as S- for a really damn good reason, and what can I say, this unit is insane. And we are going to be comparing him to the previous best Arrancar Killer, being Senjumaru Shuhei. So yeah, why compare these two characters? Well, for starters, they're both melee. They both have Arrancar Killer. One is a Soul Reaper, the other is a Squad 0 unit. Like, that's all that needs to be said. So yeah, let us go ahead and begin. Starting it off with Senjumaru. So she's already a Soul Reaper / Squad 0 affiliated unit. Now, no content in co-op actually has raids where enemies have Squad 0 killers, so there's nothing you need to worry about Senjumaru, because Squad 0 affiliation is different from Captain affiliation. That being said, she acts like a regular Soul Reaper, so for when it comes to Droplet Zone where there are raids where enemies have Soul Reaper killer, that's all you really need to watch out for. But other than that, for when it comes to using this character in Inheritance Zone, she's 100% safe to use without being affected by killer. So yeah, which is pretty damn nice. Now, of course, I did remove the SP from the Transcendent slot because of the fact that, well, I have it a level 2 SP, so to keep the comparison completely balanced and equalized, I had to remove it, since I did also transcend Shuhei's SP to level 10, so I also had to remove that. So yeah, you guys get the point. That being said, taking a look at what she has on paper, she's an Arrancar Killer with strong attack recharge time minus 12%. And in terms of stats, she's got a stamina of 1094, attack at 649, defense at 358, focus at 367, and an SP of 790. And as we go ahead and take a look at the attacks and the skills, she's got laceration on everything minus the second strong attack, being a shield move. Now, that being said, because Senjumaru actually has a shield move on the second strong attack, it means that, well, it's gonna slow her down by a lot, because it takes about 20 seconds for that strong attack to come back, and she won't be able to boost and whatnot, which kinda makes it really annoying, in my personal opinion. But whatever, it is what it is. But that being said, even though she was given laceration, she does have a skill to completely compensate for the fact that she wasn't given one of the best status elements in the game. So yeah, because I do think that laceration is a bit weaker than burn and poison for when it comes to doing damage, but it is useful for stopping the boss's super strong attacks, and pretty much to stop the bosses from using their specials in common quests. I'll give laceration where it's due, but yeah. In terms of skills, she's got a 20% Bruiser, 20% Berserker, Havoc at 20%, Frenzy, Debilitator plus 2 seconds, increased status element chance against Mind Attribute Arrancars, so she does have the Disabler skill against Mind Attribute Arrancars, which is good, but keep in mind that it's only going to increase the chance of being able to proc Laceration against only Mind Arrancars and nothing else. And then, this is what I was talking about. She does 40% extra damage to lacerated enemies, so upon inflicting laceration against a boss or a mob, you will be able to do 40% extra damage. That being said, This skill has a good side and a bad side. The good side is pretty much what I've explained so far, and the bad side is that this is completely replacing the 40% devastation, because as you guys have noticed, Senjumaru does not have a 40% devastation, which is bad because this whole increased damage to lacerated enemies, when actually nuking with the special, the first hit is nerfed and then it completely does the 40% damage, but for when it comes to nuking multiple waves of mobs, this is really going to hinder her for when it comes to nuking rooms, especially when she is actually 5 out of 5, and let's say you're bringing her in extreme co-op and you want to nuke an entire room from the first wave up until the final boss. She is actually going to struggle a bit unless she has like 500 SP on the extra stat boost slot, level 10 SP, and level 10 focus, but even then, it's going to be quite hard. Now, for single player content, it's not a big deal, but for co-op content, yeah, it's a pretty noticeable issue for Senjumaru, so yeah. And of course, she does have Sprinter +1, so yeah. Overall, really nice stats and skills. I do wish that she had at least a 40% devastation. In my opinion, this whole disabler skill should have been at least a 40% devastation to completely make up for the lack of nuking and whatnot. But yeah, that's Senjumaru in a nutshell. And now taking a look at Shuhei, he is a regular Soul Reaper. So yeah, just like Senjumaru, 100% safe to bring in Inheritance Zone, but in Droplet Zone, that's the only place where you need to worry about, since there are quite a few raids where enemies have Soul Reaper Killers. So yeah, that's just about it, but other than that, he's 100% safe to bring. He's got Arrancar Killer with strong attack recharge time minus 12%, really good. I do have him 2 out of 5, as you guys can see right here, so for when we do the individual runs, I'm not going to give the units attention die, so yeah. Just level 1 focus, and I completely removed the SP because, well, as you guys can see, it's level 10. So to make the comparison equalized, yeah, I had to remove it. Oh, and by the way, if you guys want to know how I removed the Transcendence slots, just hold on to the Transcendence slot, and then you'll get the option to do so. But be careful because it uses 8 million of your coins, so yeah. I do not recommend doing this unless you have a huge sum of coins like I do and you did it for the purpose of showcasing the unit. Trust me, you don't want to go bankrupt on coins, especially when Transcendence is a factor. But yeah, speaking of which, here's what we have in terms of stats. He's got 1,105 stamina, attack at 642, defense at 358, a base focus of 351, and an SP of 806. So Shuhei, with the exception of the attack and focus, which is slightly lower than Senjumaru, he actually has way higher stats. I mean, it is to be expected considering Shuhei did come out at the end of the month of August, and Senjumaru came out at like, what, the end of the month of February, I believe? Yeah, something like that, something along the lines, but yeah. Taking a look at the attacks Senjumaru and skills, may not be the best Arrancar Killer to this is a lot better. He's got weakening on everything. But one thing to note is that his special actually has the debuff skill like for Askins. A lot of good reasons. Upon activating the special, it is also going to lower the enemy's attack and focus by 33%. But here's the big difference. It lowers down the defense by 80%. So when using the special, he is going to kill off the first wave of mobs. But it's only against the first wave. Why? Because it only hits once instead of multiple times, which is really stupid. Now, the special still works like as if it were a regular special, but the debuff skill, it only activates once, and it only works on the currently existing wave of mobs, which, to my end, it's pretty stupid in my opinion. At this point, it would have been better if Shuhei had gotten weakened defense as an actual skill than the debuff skill on the actual special. That being said, taking a look at his skills, he's got a 20% Bruiser, 20% Berserker, Devastation at 40%. Nullify melee resistance. Okay, this skill is really good because it means that Shuhei can work both as a melee and as a ranged Arrancar Killer, meaning that you can actually use him in 2 weeks of guild quests, and for when it comes to using him in extreme co-op and when heart is boosted, he will actually be your go-to because, again, he acts as both a melee and a ranged character. it's insane. Like, that's all I really gotta say, man. Like, literally, the whole purpose of me getting the Shuhei was also to pretty much improve my runs in Extreme Co-op for Heart only, but yeah, you guys get the point. He's got Havoc at 20%, Frenzy, Debilitator plus 5 seconds, and Sprinter plus 1. So overall, better stats and skills compared to Senjumaru. But that being said, gameplay is what determines whether a character is better than the other. So here is how we are going to be building up the characters. Both of the characters will have some strong attack recharge links that also include some strong attack damage, like for example, Swimsuit Nelio. And of course, the accessories are going to be a Zeta Pill, because this IZ actually has underground enemies, a pill, and a bait, all with 30% SP. So yeah, that is how we will be rocking their individual runs. So yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right into them, and after that, we will pretty much debunk their skills and give the characters their pros and cons. Alright, now that we have gone through the gameplays of both Senjumaru and Shuhei, it is now time to debunk their kits and give them the goods and the bads. Starting off with Senjumaru, her first strong attack is a 3000 length beam move. It's the same first strong attack that the Power Hikone, Can't Fear Your Own World Shinji, Spirit Byakuya, and Spirit Rengoku have. Melee collision attack and is one of the better strong attacks in the game. Second strong attack is a shield move, has 690 radius around her and gives herself 3 barriers for 20 seconds. Good for support, bad for faster clear times as it takes a whopping 20 seconds before you can use the attack again should you have the cooldown reduction links on her. Her third strong attack is full screen 1200 radius around her, the standard full screen strong attack that everyone with Frenzy and Havoc have. Now onto Shuhei's kit. He's got a lunge forward on his first strong attack. While it doesn't cover a lot of range like Senjumaru, it is still good for being able to take care of mobs in front and back. Second strong attack is a Suction Vortex, has 750 radius. It's the same strong attack that Can't Fear Your Own World Shunsui, Can't Fear Your Own World Lupi, Fierce Battle Ulquiorra, and Redux Toshiro have, where it pulls in enemies and kills them. Not a bad strong attack, but sometimes it can miss mobs outside if not properly aimed and can lock you in place, but can still clear a good number of enemies. Third strong attack is again full screen 1200 radius. Senjumaru has laceration on everything but her second, and Shuhei has weakening on everything. Now it is time to dive into the pros and cons for both of the characters. Starting off with Senjumaru's pros, better first strong attack. Thanks to her 3000 length beam move, she can cover a large wave of mobs that are in front of her if aimed correctly and know where the next mobs spawn. Squad 0 unit. Because she is a Squad 0 character, not only is it a collector's item, but because in Cave of Diligence there are floors where they boost Squad 0 units, Senjumaru can actually be used to clear floor 50 should you happen to be missing out on both Ichibei and Tenjiro, given the right accessories and links obviously with Transcendence. More damage than Shuhei. Pretty much a given as she has the 40% extra damage to lacerated enemies and has a second strong attack that has 120% mag instead of the reduced mags that Shuhei has. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Shuhei's second strong attack starts off at 100% mag and then drops to 20%, so that way you guys know. And with that, let us move on to the cons for Senjumaru. Second strong attack's cooldown is too much. Now, if Senjumaru were another character that can boost and give out barriers like Can't Fear Your Own World Hallibell, the tech one by the way, and Anniversary Ulquiorra, this wouldn't even be an issue as the damage is increased, but instead, you get yourself more shields, which don't get me wrong, it's nice and all that. But it heavily slows down the run as you're mainly going to be using your first strong attack 80% of the time while you wait for the second strong attack to come back, which hinders her greatly for faster runs. It takes 20 seconds to be able to reactivate your second strong attack, which is mad. Lack of devastation. 40% extra damage to lacerated enemies is just a nerfed devastation. While it is good for dealing more damage towards enemy mobs, for when it comes to nuking with your special and clearing out a large wave of mobs, Senjumaru will actually have a rough time at being able to do so as her initial hits are always going to be nerfed as it first inflicts the status element and then does the damage. Only works as a melee character. You guys are wondering, why is this a con? It makes no sense. Well, here's the thing, Shuhei has an advantage over Senjumaru because of the nullify melee resistance skill that he has, which is basically half a Marauder without the guard break. So you can only use Senjumaru in content where it's limited to melee Arrancar Killers. Locked behind the premium pool. Self-explanatory, to summon for her again, you need to wait for 1000 Year Blow round 8 to return, along with Tenjiro and Kiryu. Now that we have seen the goods and bads of Senjumaru, let us move on to Shuhei. Starting it off with his pros, has a devastation. Shuhei will have a much easier time nuking compared to Senjumaru, even more with the debuff skill even though it only hits once. Clears faster than Senjumaru. Shuhei not having a shield move, it takes the same amount of time as it would take for a normal second strong attack to come back, being 9 seconds. Better status ailment. Weakening is just a lot better than laceration and is clutch for guild quests, which by the way here's another good pro. Works both as a melee and a ranged unit. This is all thanks to his Nullify Melee Resistance 100% skill, as it's able to nullify all melee barriers, so you can bring him in every Transcendence trial where is heart only, use him in both melee and ranged Arrancar Killer weeks of guild quests, and use him as both a melee and a ranged unit for extreme co-op when heart gets boosted. Now time to look at Shuhei's cons. Doesn't have the perfect second strong attack. While it is heavily compensated that it only takes 9 seconds to use it again, Shuhei's second strong attack is flawed. Damage wise, it's good. It's enough to be able to kill the mobs, but it does come with 2 small compromises. For starters, it can sometimes miss some of the mobs, if not properly aimed right, as it is a suction vortex. This is a problem that will take some time for players to get used to. The second issue is the fact that upon activating Shuhei's second strong attack, it locks him into place until the second strong attack animation is finished before being able to move again. In other words, you can't animation cancel it and flash tap to the next wave of mobs. Sure, for PvE content it's not a problem as you have invincibility frames, so mobs can't hit you, but you will not be able to speedrun as efficient as, let's say, Fierce Battle Kenpachi or Desert Rukia as an example of SP characters. But the big flaw is epic raids. The main boss completely nullifies all types of invincibility frames, so if you get stuck in a position where the boss can hit you, you can't dodge it until the animation has finished. Doesn't do the same damage as Senjumaru. Yes, Shuhei has the better status ailment, but he can't do 40% more damage to weakened enemies or inflict it a bit more easily, whereas she can actually do so towards enemies that have been inflicted with laceration. Hit or miss con at the end of the day, you guys decide for yourselves if it's deemed bad or not. Locked behind the premium pool. Same reason as Senjumaru, you need to wait for the rerun of Can't Fairy World Round 8, along with Power Hikone and Aura in order to be able to summon for him again. To conclude the comparison, Shuhei is by far easily the better character despite having some minor flaws in his second strong attack. He can still clear fast, he can still kill mobs, and has a lot of uses for PvE content. Oh, and for those wanting a comparison between him and Tag Team Renji, let me sum it up in a nutshell. Shuhei better SA1, Renji better SA2, Shuhei better SA3. Weakening on everything for Shuhei, Renji only burn on third and special. Can clear faster than Renji. That's the comparison in a nutshell. Now going back on topic, Senjumaru on the other hand, I do feel like she has fallen off a bit. Now while she may be slower at clearing compared to Shuhei, as it stands, Senjumaru will still be one of the safer Arrancar Killers to run in PvE content because of her shields and being able to stop the bosses from using their specials and super strong attacks. And that basically concludes the comparison between Can't Fairy World Shuhei and Senjumaru. Now if you guys like this video, don't forget to smash that like button, share this video with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, and hit the bell notification so that way you guys are up to date with my most recent videos. Now, there won't be any more Who Is Better videos planned for a while until we pretty much get more characters that I can pretty much compare. But if you guys want to leave ideas in the comment section below that are actually doable, do so. Like, I'm open to all ideas and whatnot. Like, I at least try to listen to my fans so that way I can pretty much dish out the best content possible for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. This has been your boy the Death Smasher, and I am signing out. Take care, lads. Peace out.